Welcome to the deep dive. We're going deep on a moment, a single verse that kind of shook hip-hop.
Yeah, one verse. It's crazy.
It is crazy, right? Like, you want to get up to speed on this whole thing, so we've, gone through all this stuff to give you the core of what happened. Looking back at, 2023, right? And then what exploded in early 2024.
That's right. And it all really starts with Future and Metro Boomin dropping that album, right? Yeah. And then this one verse comes out of nowhere and just changes everything. I mean, 2023, it felt like hip-hop was kind of, I don't know, in a weird place.
Yeah, I was looking at some stuff and they were saying that only one hip-hop track made it to #1 on Billboard that whole year.
Wow. Really? Just one?
Just one, yeah. First-person shooter, you remember that one?
Of course.
Yeah.
J. Cole and Drake and Kendrick was on that too, right?
Kendrick Lamar, yep, all three of them.
Like, wow, just one though. That's a huge drop from, what we're used to.
Huge, yeah. It makes you think, right? And you look at the bigger picture, it wasn't just Billboard, right? It was overall the whole hip-hop scene, in terms of streaming and stuff, it was kind of slowing down.
Yeah, you had Afro beats and that Latin trap really blowing up.
Yeah.
It felt like everyone was looking for something fresh, maybe a little tired of the same old. I even heard some of the record labels were shifting their money around, putting more into those other genres.
Interesting. So you've got, this kind of atmosphere, and then boom, you get first-person shooter dropping, and you've got the top three, right? All on one track. It's like, whoa.
Right. It felt massive, didn't it? Like a statement. But, looking back, it kind of makes you wonder, right? Was it really moving hip-hop forward, or was it more like the big guys patting each other on the back?
Right.
When things were, maybe not at their peak.
I see what you mean.
Was it a victory lap instead of lighting a fire under everyone?
But you gotta admit, having all those guys together on a track, it creates buzz, right? It gets people talking. It's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. It definitely got people talking. But you think about it, other eras, right?
Right.
Lil Wayne, when he was on top, he brought in a whole new sound, a whole new generation. Kanye, man, always pushing the boundaries. And 50 Cent, he shook the whole industry up. So, it's what did this first-person shooter thing really change?
That's a good point. Who was really coming up and challenging those guys? They were all just, acknowledging each other, not really pushing each other.
Exactly. Where was that hunger? That battle to be the best? It was all kind of, I don't know, polite.
Okay, so let's talk about Kendrick. Specifically in that, lead up to this whole thing.
Okay.
It was pretty quiet from him for a while after that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah, and that album was so personal, so much about, looking inward, therapy, growth, all that stuff. It was a whole journey. And then he even says in one of the songs, maybe it's time to break it off.
Wow, maybe it's time to break it off. So, maybe he's stepping back, right?
Yeah.
From the whole hip-hop scene.
Could be. And J. Cole's over here saying he feels like Muhammad Ali. Two totally different vibes. One guy stepping in, one guy maybe stepping out.
And remember, Kendrick has always said he's not trying to be the savior of hip-hop.
Right, that's true.
Okay, so here we are, early 2024. Future and Metro Boomin dropped their album. Huge anticipation, right?
Oh yeah, everyone was waiting for that one.
Everyone wants to know who's featured, what's it gonna sound like, and then boom, Kendrick's verse drops.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, what?
It was like a bomb went off. It was so direct, so confrontational. These guys talking out of their necks, don't pull no coffin out of your mouth, he says.
Whoa.
Right. It's not a collab vibe, that's a warning shot.
And then, he immediately doubles down. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. He's not playing around. He's seeing something they're not.
Yeah, they're celebrating, and he's suspicious. And then he goes, big as the what? He's questioning their whole we're the best thing, and then boom, he drops the Super Bowl reference.
Subtle, but effective.
Right. Different level. And then, let's get it, bro. Do the money, power, respect. The last one is better. You know who he's talking to there.
Yeah, Drake. But it's not just that, right? It's the do. It spells out K-Dot. And the whole money, power, respect thing, that was a huge song. And guess what?
What?
That song was a collaboration between Jay-Z and
No way.
Biggie Smalls. So he's not just talking about Drake. He's talking about legacy, respect, the whole thing.
Wow. You're right. He's pulling his history there.
And then there's a lot of goofies with a check. Oof. That's gonna sting a little, right?
For sure. I mean, Drake's whole thing is, the money, the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the Nike deal, that's a huge check.
Right, so you've got this back and forth, and then Kendrick drops, I hope them sentiments symbolic, my temperament bipolar, I choose violence. And it's okay, things just got real.
He's not holding back anymore. He's ready to fight. It's time for them to prove that they a problem, they clicking up, they can't be legit. He's calling them out.
Yeah, like, prove yourselves. Don't just team up and act tough. And then the line that really blew up the internet, fuck sneak diss and first-person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches.
Man, that was the shot heard around the world. He's saying first-person shooter was a diss track.
Yeah.
He's ready for war.
Yeah, like, you want to play games? Let's play games.
And the Melly Mel line, that's heavy, right?
Right. I crash out like, FP, just Melly Mel. He's not afraid of anyone, not even the legends.
Bold move.
And then, got 2 T's with me, I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. You know, some people thought that was about Drake and his, love of jewelry and all his tattoos.
Yeah, it was a pretty direct shot, wasn't it? Like, maybe he's saying this stuff is superficial, not what really matters.
Yeah. And then, if I walk around with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. This is interesting, right? Because Andre 3000 just dropped that instrumental album with all the flute stuff. And then there's J. Cole's song Stick.
Yeah. So he's saying, my stick ain't for music, it's for something else.
Right. And you think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD? That was like, whoa, hold on, where's this going?
It got serious, like there were real stakes involved.
And then, the mic drop moment, motherfuck the big 3, it's just Big Me. No more debate, he's the one.
Wow.
And then the comparison with Prince and Michael Jackson, that's about legacy, right? Who's gonna last, whose music is gonna matter in the long run.
And he puts himself with Prince, the innovator, the artist. Bold statement.
And then, those closing lines, for all your dogs getting buried, that's okay. With all these 9s, you're gonna see Pet Sematary. That's straight at Drake, right? For all the dogs, his album.
Yeah. And the wordplay, 9s, like canines, but also guns. He's not pulling punches.
So much packed into one verse. And the timing, while Drake and J. Cole were on tour, that was masterful.
Yeah, he forced their hand. Suddenly they had to respond. The whole game changed.
So what happened next? I mean, it couldn't just end there, right?
No way. It kicked off a whole back and forth, diss tracks, the whole thing. It was a real beef,
And it felt like hip-hop just, woke up.
Yeah, it was like someone flipped a switch. 2024 was a huge year for hip-hop. Streaming numbers went through the roof. It was the #1 genre again.
And it wasn't just the main players, right? Yet Kendrick's crew, TDE, they were all over the place.
Yeah, Schoolboy Q, Absol, Doechii, they were all winning.
Doechii, right. She was getting those Grammy nods for, really putting in the work, crafting those albums. It wasn't just about being, the flavor of the month.
Exactly. It felt like a shift, like people were looking for something more than just a catchy song. And Kendrick, man, he was everywhere. The Super Bowl, the Pop-Out show.
Huge.
And his older albums, they were still killing it on streaming, even more than Drake's new stuff. He was showing that staying power.
So in a way, that one verse changed everything, right?
For sure. It ended that whole Big 3 conversation, and it made 2024 the year for hip-hop.
So that's it. That's the story. From one verse, a whole genre changed. You came to the deep dive to get the lowdown, and that's it, man.
It's amazing, isn't it? How something that seems so small can have such a huge impact.
It really makes you think, what other things, maybe a speech or a decision or a song, have changed the world in ways we didn't even realize.
That's a deep thought.
It is, right? Thanks for diving in with us. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.